Well, what happened to Keshaun Williams? Police and U.S. Marshals provided an update today on Ohio's longest running Amber Alert. And his family is once again begging, really, anyone with information to come forward. First at 4, Brittany Weir shares what police have learned.
The 16-year-old Keshaun Williams has been missing for almost 16 months now. And today, U.S. Marshals, along with Cleveland police, announcing they received a new tip, and they're hoping this tip will help lead them to Keshaun. They said that he was last seen entering a dark-colored SUV that had other teenagers inside.
There is people out here who know what happened to Keshaun, and I pray that you come forth and give the information that you have.
Mary Williams, Keshaun's grandmother, begging anyone with information about her grandson to please call police.
I'm not asking you if you have it. I know people have it.
On Wednesday, Cleveland police and U.S. Marshals, who have been investigating this case since June 17th, 2023, announced the 16-year-old was last seen in a dark-colored SUV with 3 to 4 other teenagers.
Early on, there was information that was released that a black Jeep was involved and was a suspect vehicle. That had been vetted and is not accurate.
Police said they do not have a picture of this SUV. However, they believe whoever was in that car knows what happened.
Our hope and goal is anyone that sees this reaches out, calls the numbers provided, and provides any kind of information that will assist us.
On the night he went missing, Keshaun went to a party on Gertrude Avenue in Slavic Village. Police say they are continuing to search that area.
We've checked numerous properties, numerous abandoned properties, different tips that came in, also information that came in the area. We believe still somewhere in the area of Gertrude that has more information that could lead us to what happened.
And today, police announced that the reward money for any tips leading to Keshaun's whereabouts has been increased to over $27,000, and they are still begging anyone with information about where Keshaun is or what happened to him to please call their tip line. Live in Cleveland, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
And 19 Investigates is dropping a new Dark Side of the Land podcast episode today, featuring more on Keshaun Williams' disappearance. You can listen to Finding Keshaun now wherever you get your podcast.